This video will explain everything you need to know about the awarding organisation procedures, processes and regulations when delivering NCFE's Level 1/2 Technical Award in Business and Enterprise. The NCFE Level 1/2 Technical Award in Business and Enterprise is structured as follows. Unit 1, Introduction to Business and Enterprise. Unit 2, Understanding Resources for Business and Enterprise Planning. Unit 1 constitutes 48 guided learning hours plus a 90-minute exam. It is the externally assessed unit and is worth 40% of the overall mark. Learners can achieve a range of grades from not yet achieved to a Level 2 distinction in this unit. Learners are only assessed on content and knowledge from Unit 1 in the external assessment. Unit 2 constitutes 72 guided learning hours. It is the internally assessed unit and it is worth 60% of the overall mark. Learners can achieve a range of grades from not yet achieved to a Level 2 distinction for this unit. Learners will need to draw on knowledge from both Unit 1 and Unit 2 when completing the internal assessment, also known as the Synoptic Project. Overall, there are 120 guided learning hours and learners can achieve the following grades. Not yet achieved, Level 1 Pass, Level 1 Merit, Level 1 Distinction, Level 1 Distinction Star, Level 2 Pass, Level 2 Merit, Level 2 Distinction, Level 2 Distinction Star. To achieve the NCFE Level 1/2 Technical Award in Business and Enterprise, learners must successfully demonstrate their achievement of all learning outcomes of each of the units. Learners must also achieve a minimum of a Level 1 pass in both the internal and external assessments to achieve the overall qualification. Getting started. First, you will need to become an NCFE approved centre for delivering the Level 1/2 Technical Award in Business and Enterprise. You can do this by visiting QualHub and choosing the option that relates to you. If you are already approved as a centre for delivering other NCFE qualifications, you will most likely gain approval for Business and Enterprise without needing a centre visit, and you will be notified of your approval by email within 1 working day. If you are not already approved for delivering other NCFE qualifications, whether you are an approved centre with other awarding organisations or not, you will likely need to have a centre approval visit. NCFE will advise you of this when you apply for your approval on QualHub. They will also advise you what you need to prepare for the visit. Once your visit has taken place, you should be notified of your approval by email within 5 working days. Please note NCFE charge an annual centre approval fee of £500. This is per school, not per qualification. Registering learners. Once you have gained your NCFE centre approval, you can then register learners on your chosen qualification, in this case the Level 1/2 Technical Award in Business and Enterprise. To do this, you will log in to the NCFE portal, which you will be given access to upon your centre approval. External assessment. Once your learners are registered onto your chosen qualification, you will then need to book their external assessment date. This is the date when they will sit their written paper or exam associated with Unit 1 of the Technical Award in Business and Enterprise. There are 2 opportunities each year to sit the external assessment. Usually there is one in the autumn term and one in the spring term. You can find the published dates for each year on the NCFE website. Please make sure you are aware of the cut-off dates for booking your learners onto the external assessment to ensure you do not miss the deadline. This is usually 2 weeks before the examination date. Once learners have sat their exams, you will usually receive the results of the external assessment after around 10 weeks. You will receive these through the NCFE portal. At this point, you will need to decide if your learners are going to resit the exam. Each learner is entitled to 2 attempts at the external assessment and the best grade counts. If you decide that any of your learners need to resit the exam, you will once again need to book them in for the next available date on the NCFE portal. Internal assessment, synoptic project. Learners also need to be booked onto the internally assessed element of the course. This is known as the synoptic project. You should book learners onto the internal assessment through the portal, the same way you did for the external assessment. Once the synoptic project is released, which is in the December of Year 11 for each cohort, you will be able to access it via the portal. All course content for both Unit 1 and Unit 2 should be taught before learners start the synoptic project. The project is set by NCFE and the tasks cannot be changed. The project is internally graded by you as a centre, but NCFE will perform an external quality assurance check. The synoptic project contributes 60% to the overall qualification mark, and learners have 21 hours to complete it. Learners' work and evidence must be securely stored in between each session spent on the project, and a learner log should also be completed by the learner. Synoptic project example. Learners are given a project brief and are asked to complete a range of tasks. As an example of what you can expect from the synoptic project, a sample brief released by NCFE, which can be found on the iAchieve platform, outlines the scenario of a local entrepreneur that is offering funding to a local business to help them grow. As an expanding business, the learner has decided to apply and therefore must submit a business plan. The brief asks learners to complete tasks such as those shown on the screen now. Learners can produce their evidence in a range of ways unless stated otherwise, such as leaflets, posters, written reports, presentations, etc. But most schools will opt for some digital form of evidence. Synoptic project structure. The synoptic project is made up of 5 assessment outcomes. Recall knowledge and show understanding, apply knowledge and understanding, analyse and evaluate knowledge and understanding, demonstrate and apply technical skills and processes, manage and evaluate the project. The table shows how each assessment objective is weighted within the grading of the synoptic project. The biggest focus of the synoptic project, as you can see from the weightings outlined, is on assessment outcome 4, which is to demonstrate and apply technical skills and processes. For Business and Enterprise, assessment objective 4 is worth 45% of the final synoptic project grade. Assessing the synoptic project. When assessing the synoptic project, you should take a holistic approach. The project should be judged as a whole against each of the assessment objectives. Grading is done in bands, and each band has a descriptor which can be found in the qualification specification and will guide your grading. There are 4 bands that can be awarded: Not Yet Achieved, Band 1, Band 2, and Band 3. Learners are able to see these descriptors as they are working on their synoptic project, so they can use them for guidance. To determine the overall grade that your learners will achieve for their synoptic project, NCFE have created a grading calculator. To use the grading calculator, you will enter the band each learner has achieved for each assessment objective. Using the weighting of each assessment objective, as outlined earlier, the spreadsheet will then calculate the overall grade your learner has achieved for the synoptic project. In this example, you can see that with Learner A, the bands they achieved were a 2, 2, 2, 1 and a 2, giving them an overall grade of a Level 1 distinction. Whereas Learner B got 2s for every assessment outcome and got a Level 2 merit overall. This shows how important Assessment Objective 4 is. This is the only assessment outcome that Learner B did better on, but they jumped up 2 grades because it is worth 45% of the overall grade for the synoptic project. Internal quality assurance. Before you can let learners know their grade, their work needs to go through your internal quality assurance process. Internal quality assurance is the last check before you submit grades to the portal. Your IQA, or Internal Quality Assurer, should be able to correctly assess and moderate. This means they should be knowledgeable about the course content, competent and confident of the grading system, and they should not have been involved with the teaching of the learners. In the first year of delivering this course, your IQA should sample 50% of your learners, and the sample should contain a wide range of grades. After the first year, you can reduce the sample size, but the sample should still be large enough to give the IQA a picture of the work and marking. A sample size of around 20 to 40% is recommended. Once your IQA process has been completed, you can issue learners with their grades. It is important, however, to advise them that their grades may change following the EQA visit. You cannot provide feedback to your learners until after your EQA visit. These grades should be submitted to NCFE via the portal, usually by the 31st of March. External quality assurance. Once you have completed your IQA process and submitted the grades via the NCFE portal, your EQA visit will take place. Registering your learners on the NCFE portal triggers the allocation of your external quality assurer. This is a named person that will be allocated to your school and will conduct your external quality assurance visits in relation to the internally assessed element of this course. The external quality assurance visit is the final stage of the Synoptic project process. Please make sure you have booked this in advance. You are entitled to 2 visits per year from your EQA as part of your annual NCFE Centre approval fee. Your external quality assurance visit will normally take place in person, but sometimes can take place remotely. What to expect at your EQA visit. Guidance on preparing for your EQA visit can be found on QualHub. The most important things your EQA will be looking at during your visit are your internal quality assurance processes and a sample of portfolios to check your assessment decisions. During your visit, your EQA may also want to look at things like your scheme of work, school policies, CPD records, and staff CVs. Please remember that you can use iAchieve as evidence of your scheme of work. All EQAs will be familiar with iAchieve. During the visit, you'll need to have all of your learner work available for sampling. Your external quality assurer will sample the work and will either agree with the grades given or will reject them. Grades can be rejected by your EQA for being too harsh as well as too lenient. If your EQA rejects your grading, they will have a discussion with you, provide you with actions and guidance, and the new grades will be banked for those learners affected. Following your first EQA visit, you can give feedback to your learners on their Synoptic project, and they can complete a resubmission if required. The resubmission will involve the same Synoptic project. The learners will use the feedback given to make improvements. They don't start from scratch, they add or make changes to the previous work, and they are allowed a further 21 hours to complete their resubmission. You will then need to again mark and internally quality assure the resubmitted work and submit the grades to the NCFE portal by the 31st of May. A second EQA visit will then need to take place for final sign-off. Please ensure you arrange this in advance. Summary. In summary, the qualification is made up of 2 units. The first unit is externally assessed via an exam which can be sat in the autumn term or spring term each year and is worth 40% of the overall qualification grade. Learners are entitled to 2 attempts at the external assessment and the best grade counts. Once learners have covered all the content for Unit 1 and 2, they will then complete a Synoptic project which is worth 60% of their overall grade. Learners are entitled to 1 resubmission of this Synoptic project. The Synoptic project is marked and internally quality assured by the school before an external quality assurance visit takes place. Grades for the first submission must be submitted to the NCFE portal by the 31st of March, and grades for the second submission must be submitted to the NCFE portal by the 31st of May. If you need any further help or guidance, please get in touch by emailing info@iachieve.org.uk.